DFM.
Yeah. All right, it's 4:15. We'll call the meeting to order and ask Mr. Tony Smith to lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we want to thank thee for another wonderful day. Lord, bless the people in Waverly, McEwen, in West Tennessee Common there, that's suffering from this disaster we have. Lord, bless the people that are sick, need your guidance. Bless our troops that are fighting for our current rights, our freedom, the way we currently live. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, I believe everybody's present, so we'll have to do a roll call. First item is approval of the minutes from the July 27th.
Take motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any question, comment? All in favor? Any opposed? Great. First item under new business is solid waste.
We're still answering calls on where to take different items, but these calls are coming in from a lot of new people coming into the area. And they are surprised that we do not have a charge at the landfill for a lot of our trash that we take. So that was kind of interesting to know that.
We take
House-
donations.
I'm sorry.
We take donations, right?
Yeah, definitely. Household hazardous waste event is scheduled for September the 25th, 8 till noon at the Ag Center. The Big Spring Shopping Center has changed ownership, so we had to find a new location. And I had checked with Bill and Helen about having it out there, and they said that was fine. So we're hoping to have a large turnout because we've had to cancel twice last year. We will do advertising and handouts at the centers to notify residents of the event. We will be advertising bids for tire recycling and e-waste. We have extended our contracts for another year with our mowing company and our metal recycler since there was no change in pricing. We'll be putting up some of our old bins for surplus since we no longer have need of those boxes. We'll keep the best ones and surplus the rest. Josh Carney, our IT director, taught a very informative class recently on cybersecurity. This class was through the recently formed safety meetings for the county. Cyber crimes affect all of us, and we need to be diligent on checking our emails for any signs that they might not be legitimate. Tariff Depot will be closed September the 1st. The highway department is scheduled to be down that week, so our attendant who works on the highway side won't be there. And the report is attached. July recycling revenues, $19,791.51, total of 103 tons, 0.79. The metal price was at $325 a ton, which is up considerably. So that was where a lot of that came from. Landfill disposal costs, $31,533, 952.66 on our tons. Any questions?
I don't hear any, but on that email, I've got emails going out that I want to meet with you. So look and see who that email is coming from. So it's a hacked, when you actually look at the email address that sends it, it's not me, but it has my name out beside it, but you look at it, it'll be some funny number, something crazy. So this happens every now and then. So if you get some kind of bizarre email from me, wanting to meet or send me gift cards or Bitcoin or any of those things, contact our office. We'll show you where to drop them off. All right, next item is human resource report.
Yes, so you all have submitted, I've submitted before you all the July numbers for new hires, terminations, resignations, retirements, rehires. I think those are all pretty self-explanatory. They're all reflective of different departments. There wasn't a consistent pattern. Just one department having everybody come in or one department having everybody go out. But we did have 12 new hires that I onboarded in July for various departments, 10 of those being full-time and 2 part-time. Just as a disclaimer on resignations and terminations, because the word sounds so final and scary, they're not always a bad personnel kind of conversation that we have to have. Occasionally they are, but some of the things is just like events and things that happen. So when you see that word, I just always want them to say, maybe we just didn't submit a written, and that's the way we have to flag it in the software for reporting purposes. So again, again, 3 terminations, 8 resignations, and those were in various departments from juvenile detention, jail, fire, EMS. Retirements, same, let's see, we had 3 probation, county clerk, and EMS department with no rehires for July. Several different job postings. We did fill the position for, and it's not on this listing because again, it's a snapshot, the EMA director position, that's been filled, by David Kitchens. There is a field appraiser, position that we have with the county, and I believe there is an offer being extended for that. Office billing assistant just closed last Friday. CDL remains open. Firefighter position remains open. Social counselor remains open. Corrections open. I have 2 offers and 1 pre-offer that I'm scheduled for that position. And AMTs and paramedics are still open. We are adding a lieutenant position. We're going to be advertising very soon for EMS. Deputy clerk had 2 positions not on here, but we filled those. Just in the way of projects, just updating job descriptions. Usually when I get a job posting request, a new one, I take that time to update and get those out and then work on them as a whole when I can. To Diane, to what she just spoke of, we did host a cybersecurity meeting for all county departments. That Josh Carney was the guest speaker. We had 2 of our representatives from our insurance company, and Tennessee Trust Management, SEC, were there. They were very complimentary of the conversation with cybersecurity. Again, to what Mayor Graham just said, because of the opportunities that we get every single day. So they like to see things like that. I think usually they help with rates when we have to renew. So we need to try to get any type of opportunity for training or grants. So they're very happy with the mayor's decision to create the safety committee and to host quarterly training. So cybersecurity was a good one, and we appreciate Josh doing that. We did finish up our virtual and on-site meetings for the new opportunity for 401k and Roth 401ks through the state Retire Ready program, and that went really well. And Ted is actually going to be reaching out. Ted Show, who is our representative, is going to be reaching out again. I think he's going to do some additional September meetings. So I'm going to be working with him on that. And just professional development, continuing to stay up front on where we are currently with COVID, like everyone else is doing. We do have our local COVID policy still in place if needed for our employees through September 30th, which marries up to the federal date of leave at this point. And I will say, even though our numbers appear to be up from what they were even just a few weeks ago, our numbers of leave requests have not increased. We've had very little, which is a good thing, that it needed that at this moment, that Mayor Graham is still in policy through 9/30. Any questions?
A lot going on. Recruiting is a premium in all the disciplines, but certainly public safety, EMS for sure, as it's proved again today, is really a challenge. And this is a challenge that's not short term. I mean, you look way out past Bedford and Tennessee and even nationally, public safety is really going to have to take a hard look at who we are and what we do, how we do it going forward. So grateful to have a comprehensive HR department on this. Next on the agenda is our archives.
We're moving forward with still boxing some permanent records and continue to do that. We have the hospital records are getting under control with what needs to be saved. I think they'll be on target of about 20% of what was stored will be permanent or very long term. And based on the things that we want with the personnel files, restricted records like that. And then, so therefore, I've been able to dispose so far about 35 cubic feet, mainly of those hospital records. And then the electrical works been improved at the building, the records building, and we're still hoping for some good HVAC. I guess I'll get air conditioning by the time we need heat. So we do have one really well working, and it is a lot easier to work on those records down there than in the attic at the courthouse at this time of year. So, we had that.
They figured out our short or that switch that wasn't going off, that was costing money.
Yeah, and, but several little electrical issues were adding up to the cost problem. So one circuit at a time, so to speak. I had an interesting meeting with Linda and the Democratic Women's Forum, and you think you're giving a lot of interesting and informational materials about the courthouse or records or historic records or budgets and stuff. And their main question was, what about the ghost stories at the courthouse? So,
You found them.
I do know some, and I will find some more.
All right, any other questions for me? This has been a eye-opening experience for me, dealing with the archives and Carol coming into the system with her tremendous background in this prior to retiring and coming to the present. There's an awful lot of stuff that's just been left laying around.
A lot of neat stuff, I like to say. There's a lot of really interesting and neat stuff, no matter what set of records you're talking about. Whether they're the sheriff records or, hospital records even are interesting. Even, I didn't expect them to be interesting in the least, but they are kind of interesting. But, and the permanent records that are turning up in them are part of the significant thing that you need to keep. Much less the TCRS issues with past employees. So, and some really great records are showing up in the attic and helpful to historians. We had a fellow in from Michigan. He was so excited to see a few original records. So,
So good things are happening there. Eventually we'll get our arms around this and it'll be more of a manage. Right now, it's all hands on deck trying to figure this out. All right, next on the agenda is architects, and is it Thursday?
We have a meeting Thursday.
So with the architects to get all the ends tidied up and move on with those projects, and we'll see from there what we're able to report next month. Next up is monthly reports.
You have your monthly reports, and there's not a lot of information in this month because we have limited, transactions in the month of July. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. We don't have a lot of revenue coming in for the month of July. So any questions? If you look at your property tax collections report, the only one that has income is the prior year tax collections. There is money actually in sales tax and also in property tax, but it's a receivable that goes into last year. And that's how we do that every year. We have a report on juvenile detention, and we're going to be projecting a $223,000 loss at the end of the year, fiscal year. And traffic school, we're projecting income of $61,000 for the year. You have a report on expenditures, and anything in red is highlighted as being over the average. And a lot of that is because of in-service, and a lot of it's done at the beginning of the year. I did notice utilities are on the average higher than what they normally are, and food supplies at the jail are higher than child nutrition. But that's because they issue POs at the beginning of the year to get school started. And you also see diesel is up, and some of that's because they're topping off the tanks. Gasoline, same reason. So any questions about any of those? I do want to add something to this. We are in the process of refinancing our variable rate debt, and we just got the bonds on that. Like I said, it's in the process. We're going to save $3.3 million in future interest, and we got a rate of 1.49%. And
Plus
so,
we got $6 million, a year or so ago, and so that's real money saved in the system.
but one of the interesting things was that this is the first time, we always have to do an interview with Moody's because they do the rating service. They give us like a credit rating. And one of the questions they have is about cybersecurity. Do you you have any attacks, different things like that. We do have a cybersecurity insurance, and we have to do certain things in order to maintain that insurance. So I don't know if any of you do that or not, but that's really becoming,
Does that cover the school system?
they have one also. So if you don't do the cybersecurity precautions, then they will not renew that insurance. So we have certain things we have to do to maintain.
Have you ever had any problems that's been breached?
Not yet that I know of.
Not a ransomware type situation, I don't think. You have people attempting, you know,
Like with you?
exactly, yeah, you got these phishing things, and you got people, and this is one of the advantages or values that we have with the partnership with the tech college, TCAT, by having their cybersecurity program right here in this building. They also have the opportunity to monitor and help us keep an eye on suspicious activity, you might say, in an effort to try to get out in front of it. I don't think anybody's 100% bulletproof. As you can see, I think it was the State Department just the other day. Of course, those high value targets, that's the ones they want. I mean, they're probably on average not looking at your personal stuff too much, but something of interest. You know, we don't want to be an easy target, that's for sure. So.
See, like financial records on a separate server, and also we back up to the cloud. So we have a way of getting the information back if something did happen. What we see a lot of is email stuff, pretty much.
Any other comments or questions about that? Other monthly reports, which is EMS, all right, they're in the house.
You guys have my report in front of you, and I'll answer any questions on that. We've ran 674 calls for the month of July. We've had a busy month working with Andy. We're working on a grant program with several other.
Things that are involved in the state level association, state board. So they're certainly doing everything that I would know to try to make sure we have the best information to make decisions. We may have to make some adjustments at some point, but we'll certainly keep you guys in the loop as we do it.
How many total employees do you have?
Total, we have about 67 overall. On a day-to-day basis, primary employees are 37. So we're running 9 short of 37.
Yes, sir.
Tish, on our write-offs right here, it's always troubling. Because we're looking at $53,000 in write-offs versus $180,000. Not on you, just asking now.
Yeah. So basically on the write-offs, how that works is they consider anything that Medicare or insurance companies won't pay. So we run a $700 ambulance on Medicare might reimburse us $300. Well, that difference is considered a write-off. So there's not money on the table that we can collect. Basically, that's money that's not collectible to the ambulance service.
Looks terrible to accounting people, but it's part of the business and health insurance. It's important that they're charging the higher rates, because if they do encounter an insurance that would have paid $700 and you only billed $500, they don't give you the other $200.
Right.
So, and you can't pick and choose how you bill people, so, yeah, you gotta do everybody the same way, so that, and that's a standard really in the business of how you do it.
That is a high collection rate actually compared to other places, because when I was actually an auditor and auditing other counties, I saw collection rates of 18-20%.
Well, I'm just concerned because I look at Tenn Care with the largest write-off on there. That seems to be our problem, is Tenn Care.
30 cents on the dollar, maybe, I don't know what it is now.
They pay the lowest reimbursement.
That's the same, as what used to be Medicaid.
But Medicaid's on here too, it's 5,000.
But it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, so between the two of them, there's $30-something thousand we're having to eat.
On a state level, we work on that about every year to
Reimbursement rates,
That's right. We at least try to match it with Medicare. Obviously, that takes rule changes and law changes. And
Y'all are even doing what's equivalent of bed tax, right?
that's right. So basically, we get a percentage on top of what you see on write-offs that's deposited back to the ambulance. So that's
Well, I'm not criticizing you, I'm just questioning
No, that's-
why they, what the payoff, why they paid short us on that. So.
Any other questions? See that revenue statement?
Yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier, but we started collecting out-of-state sales tax when we received our first payment this month. And half of that goes to education and half of it is split between the county and the cities. So it's a different allocation from what we see on the other sales tax. So I think we got 26,000 this month for the first one. So schools will be seeing some of that, county will be seeing some of that also. And that was not something we planned on as far as budget.
I thought we were already getting.
This is not just internet sales, this is out-of-state collections, where people are paying sales tax from out of state. So it's something new that they haven't been collecting prior to
Well,
this.
that's good.
All right, any other comments on that? All right, you've gotten all the reports. Is there a motion to approve the reports?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item, this is LexisNexis.
This is a contract that goes beyond a year, so it needs to be approved by the commission. We put it on the agenda.
What does it involve?
It's a circuit court clerk, it's their subscription
Oh, yeah.
to legal documents.
So we need a motion to send this to the
Motion
commission.
approved.
All right, motion second, all in favor? Any opposed? Next on the agenda, surplus property, particularly this is from Learning Way Elementary.
Yes, you have surplus property lists that need to be sent to the commission also.
Motion to send.
Make a motion to send it to the full commission.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then this application for rezoning, normally we present these to the Rules Committee, and this one got out of the packet in the wrong order. So this is simply, so there'll still have to be a public hearing, the county commission will debate that. And this is recommendation for zoning change by the planning commission. So this is just a formality way to make sure that it's properly on the agenda.
Okay. Send it to the commission.
Is there a second?
Has been alerted as to why.
We are talking, I don't know if we got it on phone or not, but yeah, we'll make sure he's aware. So we got a motion, I need a second.
Second.
All right, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, there will be a public hearing and the debate on the floor, but this is the planning commission's recommendation for a change. Next item would be other business. Did I leave anything out? Has anybody got anything they want to bring up? Is there any announcements? I do want to say that Commissioner Brown continues to struggle health-wise. So we certainly wish him the best and trying to stay in contact with him. See, he's been in the hospital, was back out of the hospital. I haven't got to talk to him today. I don't, hopefully he's still home. And improved. Any report?
Oh, so,
It's,
September.
okay. Yeah, I'm not sure of the date, but I thought we put something in your packet.
We did.
Okay.
Somewhere we did, but
Okay.
yeah, it's the 7th.
Okay. Yeah, that would be, for those that are required to get training, this would be an opportunity for that time to count for you. But you also, if you pick up other training, you can get credit for that as well.
It's 5:30.
Any reports? All right, any other announcements? Yes.
Chicken biscuits or.
Tea and tender tomorrow at 11:30, anyone wants to be there. Yeah, so opportunity to have industry and make sure that,
11:30.
yeah, I think that's what time it is. Set.
There is an opportunity this weekend to get anything you ever wanted at the Ward Race Community Garden Center. That nobody more fresh wants. You can come pick it up.
And you have already 2 long.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other announcements? All right, motion to adjourn? All right.
Yes.